Good afternoon, friends. Welcome back to RB Bass Outdoors. Mike Rogers, RB Bass Angler here. Thought I'd give a little recap on the Cast for Kids Folsom Lake 2024, which happened 2 days ago on Sunday. I'd have done it sooner, but I get a little busy out here. Uh, this is put on by John Henneke, Jonathan Ashcroft, and a bunch of his crew that are just phenomenal workers. I know it takes them all year to put this on. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Shout out to John and those guys for making this huge effort on doing it because it went off really, really well. I showed up in the morning. He said be there by 6:45. John Hempel and I encouraged anglers to get there by 6 to help out unload and all that stuff. I got there at 5:30. Sorry, that's just me. As Chris and a bunch of other guys will tell you, Grandpa's always early. I sat there, had my coffee, and then John showed up, and then others, and we all got together and unloaded the truck with all the rods and the tackle boxes and all the gear and stuff that John needs to do to put this thing together. There's nothing like many hands make light works, is what my grandfather told me. Excuse me. Once we got all that done and all the signing in and the waivers done and everything like that, we all lined up to get our kids and our dad or mom, whoever's going to go with them. And I picked up mine. His name was Michael too, and his dad Craig. Great people. Got him into the boat. Took our photo prior for the plaques and stuff for the end of the awards, and it got launched out of there with no problem because they launch you. You just sit in the boat and back in, and off you go. Got out of the 5 mile an hour zone, and we took off. And Michael was just grinning ear to ear with flying 60 miles an hour on the water and going and going. He did he did well. I was worried a little bit about him. His dad says, "No, don't worry, he's doing just fine." Everybody had their vests on and stuff. Made a run up on the North Arm. About 10 minutes away at the most, because the other, Chris Perez, was another RB angler, and I fished it the day before looking for fish, so we just wouldn't go out there blind. We don't fish this lake much, though we plan to in the near future here. I do it maybe once a year, twice at the most, so I don't know a lot about it. But we went up there, found a spot that Chris and I hooked several of them up in and stuff, and then we found them all hanging into the trees, and some sunning just above or some just below, and we found them on wacky worms and drop shots. And I think Chris even got hit on a fluke. But so I had those rods made up, and this is my first rodeo. I've done this before, so I had double the rods made, one for his dad and one for him. Which is necessary because inevitably the young man will do a backlash or break off, or you do reties and try to pick things out, which is 90% of my time is doing. So we got there, slowed down, popped in, trolled motor, got the first tree. I actually spot locked the thing and told Dad how to do it and cast it, and he did. And then I went to working with Mike on the front of the boat, and. Michael is a great kid. He's 11 years old. Has the patience or an attention span of a lot less. So he's always got to be doing something. And, kids, if things aren't biting or he doesn't have the patience for that worm to flutter down, he's always thinking about something else to do. So we threw the worm out, showed him how to do it, got it right to the tree. I'm excited. I'm thinking we're going to hook up. I got a 3-pounder the day before. So nothing, not even a bite, nothing. After 3 of these casts, he's bored with it, wants to do something else. I asked him if he wanted to do a drop shot. He says, "Oh, yeah, sure." I said, "Well, this has got a sinker on it, so it's going to get down faster." He goes, "Oh, good." I pitch it out there for him to show him how to do it. And it got down there, so he's right away and tried to get him just to jink it a little bit, like this. But typical kids, he's going, wah, wah, like this. So I actually had to put my hand over the rod so the rod could only go up so far to make it, little jerks. And his dad is just cracking up and laughing. Uh, so we got that. He did it a few times, and then he wanted to cast it, and I did. Well, you have to let him do it. I mean, it was a mistake. It's in the trees, broke off, and he's not the only one. I broke one or two off too as well. Um, and I had to, go to pick it out. I grabbed the other one and give it to him so he has something to do. And I'm back down picking the lashes out and stuff and so on and restringing. By the time that's done, he's bored and done with that too. So I said, well, how about doing a rip bait? And I looked at his dad and I said, does he handle treble hooks? And he says, oh, yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be all right. So I gave him the rip bait and showed him how to rip it, a cadence type of form. And he's got no timing, no cadence, no nothing. That rod tip is flying all over the place where I think he hit his dad in the head. And so that didn't work real well. And on the last cast, of course, the line just went. It was a big bird's nest. This thing. It took me 20-25 minutes to pick that thing out. And so I said, well, you want me to fix you something else? He goes, no, I want to do my own. I said, well, perfect, go ahead. I showed him how to tie a polymer knot so he can hook on the stuff, what he was doing, and so on and so on. I gave him a bag, a big 1 gallon bag of all kinds of Senkos, trick worms, small, medium, 1.5 divers, and pop-bars, and just stuff. A big right on there, so from RB Bass and so on and so on. And so he's filtered through this stuff and he pulls out a pop-bar, a small one. And I said, well, actually, it's a smart kid. That's a pretty good choice because we had bass popping around us every now and then. So he ties us on, and the time I get done messing with this reel, I look over and he's got 6 to 7 inch trick worms, orange, hanging from each hook of that treble hooks and stuff. 6 of them. And I looked at that and I said, I see it on the film. I took a short of it and put it on our YouTube channel. So if you really want to see it, you get on our YouTube channel and go take a look because I don't have it out here. He took it home with him, thank God. So it's on the YouTube channel, and we going to let him mess with it. So I backed up and stood in the back with his dad. I'm not going to get beaned by this thing. And he hooks it out there, and because of the weight, it actually, he went pretty far. He was pleased with it. And his dad said, I'm not sure if that's going to sink or stay on top or whatever, but I told him, I said, if he catches a fish with this thing, that I'm going to market it for him, and I'm going to take 20%. His dad thinks it's a good idea. He's going to laugh. After 3 casts with that thing, he was done with that too. It's nothing. Just as he's pulling it up out of the water, Jay Ellis comes around the corner and he yells at me, hey, Mike. And I looked out there and said, hey, come on over here. Check this out. It'd be great for castforkids.org. And he comes over and he boats up next to us and stuff. And I said, Michael, show Jay what you got on here. And he picks it up. He's just proud as punch. And one of these numbers, look at this. Jay goes, oh, that is so awesome. Did you get anything? Oh, not yet, but I'm going to work with it. And we're laughing. He thinks it's the greatest thing ever, and Jay did too, and it is. He's doing things his way. We only had about 15 minutes left by then, so there really wasn't any sense for any putting on top waters or change any gear. Just finish out the time and let it go, hoping that you'll get something. After about 40 trees, I just knew it just wasn't going to happen. But that's just fishing. So we boat out. We get to the buoys and we book on out and doing 60 miles an hour, and he's having a ball, just having wind in his hair, and bugs hit him in the face, and he wants me to do S curves, and we get that done. We get back, and of course there's boats all around there getting pulled out, and John Henneke and his crew did an amazing job on this as well, to where they gave you a boat number like you do in a tournament stuff. You go near the dock, you tell them what your number is, and they radio up, and a guy will come up and grab their keys and go get your truck and come down to you. And I bet we didn't set out there in the water more than 10 minutes. And with all those other boats coming around, and it came down, got us, or you drove it up on there, boated up, and went off. Got up to the meeting area there, and I let the boys out, and I told them to go on up to the barbecue area. I'll put the boat away. I got cleanups to do and rods to put away and lockers to lock and things like that. And I'll meet him up there. So we did, and I got up there. Of course, I talked to a few guys along the way, and it seemed like probably 85, 90% of the people out there had the same problem. There's no fish. A few of them did catch some fish, which was great. Um, got up to the barbecue. John had it catered, and there was a barbecued beef sandwich and chips and cookies and things like that, which was great. Everybody was hungry, and then we stood around and waited for them to call for the awards. We were, I think, third to the last or something like that. I don't know what's on the screen. Um, and Michael was getting tired and bored, and he actually wanted to go. And his dad made him, no, stay. We're going to stay for awards and so on and so on. So we had to call up there, and of course John asked him some questions and stuff like that, and I gave a small speech on the lure. Thank John Tunnesley for doing what he does, as well as the crew. Um, I think everybody gave Rick Novotny a lip full because he didn't catch any bass either, and John started it, and every kid that came up there didn't catch one. He'd look over at over at Rick. Was he on your boat? It was a good time. It was a good time, and they always have been, and I'm sure they're always going to be. My note to you is that if you are an angler and you have a boat and you want to take some time for a really, really good cause, these kids don't get out and get to do things that other kids get to do. It's well worth it to see the smiles on their face. If anything, their dad's or their mom's face too, and the laughing that goes on. I would get a hold of John Henneke and sign up next year. Cast for Kids, Folsom Lake. That would be 2025. There might be another one around Berryessa, whatever, that you might be able to do too. With that said, we got our plaques and stuff. They had to hit the road. We said our goodbyes and hope to see them again next year, and so on and so on. And it's possible I could get them again next year. I had Dominic 2 years not running, but a couple years in between. So it works out. Definitely give them a call and see how this goes. A shout out to our RB anglers. I think there were 8 of us there. Vern Richards and Richard Whitnam and his wife, Lauren. John Hempel and Monica were there. Rick Novotny and Kim were there. Brian McKenna was there. They all helped. They all voted. They all did a wonderful job, and John told us so. So next year, look forward to 2025. And my last comment is, if you can do it, grab a kid and take them out fishing. It'll be worth it. See ya.